the last thing we need to do on the Mark 5 Golf is the clutch and flywheel. I'm excited to get this done because it's the last job that I need to do on the car before it gets sold to the new owner. Let's get it done.
So you want to start with removing the passenger side wheel, which will give you access to the 6 bolts holding the drive shaft to the gearbox. And then you can move around to the driver's side wheel where you can remove that, and that will give you access to the driver's side drive shaft. For this drive shaft, we're not fully removing it, we are just taking out the 6 bolts which hold the drive shaft to the gearbox. Moving up top, we can then start disconnecting everything that holds the airbox into the top of the engine, disconnecting the MAF sensor, removing the intake pipe clip, and popping the airbox out of the grommets that it's sat on. Then you can remove the battery terminals, which are 10mm sockets. Remove the battery casing. And then you've got a 13mm bolt which holds the battery plate in place. Remove the battery, and then there's 3 10mm bolts which hold the battery tray in. Remove this electrical connector which is connected to the gearbox, and then you can remove the slave cylinder line by pulling up this little tab and then pulling the slave line off. Make sure to find a flat and level surface when you're supporting the engine with a jack or whatever you are using. And then you can remove the 6 bolts holding the gearbox mount and the supporting bracket. With the supporting bracket off, you can then remove the rest of the gear linkages, because with the supporting bracket on, you can't actually remove the full assembly. And then you can go ahead and remove the starter motor bolts. There's one at the top and one at the bottom. and you can either cable tie or tuck that away somewhere nice, somewhere that's not going to fall. There's 3 bolts holding the dog bone mount in. Remove those 3 and then you can pull the dog bone mount straight out. So while you're under the car, this is a mistake that I didn't do. You want to remove this gearbox flange, because if not you will not be able to get the gearbox out, because it gets caught and doesn't allow the gearbox to come loose.
So the clutch and pressure plate were actually alright on this one. This is, I mean, they were absolutely fine in the car as well. There's not really any scoring. It's all relatively smooth and looks nice. Flywheel was the thing that was chattering and really moving a lot. So that's the reason that we're doing this.
There's 3 bolts holding the concentric slave into the gearbox. Remove those and then you can slide the concentric slave out. Give the gearbox a clean and a wipe down. And then once you've done that, you can then install the new concentric slave. When installing the new flywheel, you can't really get it wrong. It will only go on one way and the bolts will only line up one way, so you don't have any issue there. Snug all 6 flywheel bolts down just lightly, and then you can go around with the torque wrench and make sure that they are torqued to spec. Install the new clutch and the pressure plate, and making sure that the clutch is situated in the right direction. I'm going to do something which is really debated in the comment section, aligning the clutch with my eye. Now I'm pretty good at this, I like to do it like this. Let me know in the comment section below if you would do it like this, because I seem to get it perfect every single time I do it by eye. Once the new clutch and flywheel is installed, you can then pick the box up and then install it back to the engine. 97% of you guys that are watching haven't actually subscribed, so do me a massive favour and hit the subscribe button now. If you're enjoying these videos, it doesn't cost anything and it helps the channel out massively. Once the gearbox is installed back to the engine, you can then put all of the bell housing bolts back in, and then you can start repeating the process of exactly what you did to take everything off, put it all back on again in the same order. So starting off with the shifter selectors, because once you put the transmission supporting bracket on, you can't get the selectors in. So making sure that you do that first. And then you can re-support the gearbox with the support bracket and the transmission mount. This is also a good time to mention that you want to put the gearbox flange back in before you put the dog bone mount in, because once the dog bone mount is in, it will be very difficult to get the drive shaft back into the flange. Reinstall the dog bone mount so the engine's not swaying all over the place, and then you've got a stable engine to be able to reinstall everything else that you took off.
So to bleed the concentric slave on this, all you want to do is just take this little rubber cap off, and then you want to put a hose, like for example, a hose like this onto that part, and then you want to just get a little bucket like this, or like some sort of something. This definitely needs a brake fluid flush because that looks disgusting. But yeah, just put the hose from here into that bucket with some fluid in it, and then you want to just push on the pedal. You need to undo this here, so you just twist this to the left, and that goes all the way around 180, and then from there fluid will come out of there and go into the bucket. And while that's happening, you need to be pushing the pedal, and as soon as it feels like you've got a clutch again, then you can come back here, tighten that up, and then you're done.
And then it's just as simple as putting the battery tray back in, putting the battery back in, putting the airbox back in,
Music licensing
and
reimagined.
then all of the plastics at the front of the car for the airbox.
So that's the Mark V Golf clutch and flywheel replacement finished. If you stayed until the end of the video, make sure to let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and hit the subscribe button. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.